What's the name of this one? What's the name of this one?
That's a good question.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we're so organized.
By the way, we're live.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
Fine. It's fine.
So, that's a good question. What is the theme today? What's the...
Designing
We talk about labs, right? Like,
well, designing a dental laboratory. I mean, I think it's in-house dental lab, something like that.
Yeah.
Designing a dental lab in-house or something. Let's just figure it out. We'll keep it loose. Oh, you're stretching his neck out.
Hey, morning, Paul.
Good morning.
Hey,
Julia.
How you guys doing?
Good. Great.
Good. The stay-at-home order is finally over here in North Carolina. So
Is it really?
yes,
Wow.
Friday 5 p.m. So now we're.
Can you tell me how it is in California? Because I don't.
You don't
follow
know?
I don't know.
It's still up. It's still up. They actually extended it. So
What?
yeah, they extended it till
Okay.
September, I think. or something.
Okay. Just one important thing before we start. Let's
Yeah.
try to be under PG-13. Okay.
Okay.
So let's-
So
Let's
I just won't talk.
we will try. Right? It's
Okay, I will do my best.
Well, I got a lot of
Okay.
comments. I got a lot of comments last week on the ear muff joke. So people actually thought it was kind
Yeah.
of.
I like you doing this. This looks so funny.
It does.
Well, my daughter is trained. I say earmuffs, and she's like trained to do that. So it's pretty.
She's well trained. I saw that.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
pretty good.
Apparently, I'm not.
Yes. So what's the topic for today?
So today we're talking about dental office lab design. So bringing a lab into your dental practice. Should you do it? Should you not do it? If you do it, how do you do it? I've seen so many doctors want to do it, and it's a different situation. I mean, the labs of the old days are small and messy, and that's not the way it is now. And a lot of doctors don't really understand that. For example, look at this first image here. I mean,
You mean the closet?
yeah, exactly. It's a closet. I mean, that's not a lab. That's a closet. And that's like the old days. And then for a more advanced lab in the old days, look at this dungeon over here. I mean, it's like black and there's like pictures on the wall.
They have a lot to do. See that? They're busy. They are really busy like hell.
Yeah.
They're busy, but look at that. I mean,
It's
it's
just unorganized.
yeah, it's unorganized and it looks like it's in the back. And that's the thing, like labs used to be like in the back. It used to be like, oh, we're going to put the lab over here. But again, this is where technology is interesting. Like technology is educating patients that to get good aesthetics, not all the time, but a lot of the time, you need to have the doctor and the ceramist work hand in hand. And to shade match, you need to be together. You need to collaborate with your ceramist. And it's hard to do that when your lab is not in-house, it's away.
Mhm.
And so doctors are now not only putting labs in their practice, but they're actually taking them from the closet, they're taking them from the dungeon, and they're making them fourth and center. And look at these over here. Look at the look at this image. I mean, this is beautiful. This is something you could show a patient and say, hey, when you come here to our dental practice, where we have an in-house lab and we work hand in hand to design a beautiful smile.
Mhm, mhm.
Tell us a little bit about this project here.
Okay. Yeah. So this project is actually a client in Texas with 10 operatories, and for him, it was important to have every space looking nice, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when we implemented his lab, for us, it's always important to look at every space to how much space do we really need to have it as a productive and efficient space. And in the past, for laboratories, a lot of times they were just being neglected because it was not being used. But now with all the technology that we're using, especially here, you can see they have 2 steric milling units, they have a 3D printer. You need the space in the house to put that technology to use. And instead of sending that milled piece out to a lab, you just work with it in-house, which makes you more independent, and the doctor has it right there to work with it.
Yeah. And what I love about it is these images here have a lot more production going on than this image here. But even though there's a lot more production, it looks clean, it looks elegant, and everything is set up like a certain way. The CRX are set up a certain way, the printer set up a certain way. There's an actual workflow here that is not only pleasing to look at, it's pleasing to educate the patient, to explain why your practice is different than other practices, why they're going to get a better result, and it's producing. You close the lights, it
But
produces.
this is what let's say a lot of offices not really understand, that there needs to be a workflow in the lab as well. Everything in the lab in the past was just as in this picture we see here, just not organized, just throw it in there and somebody's doing it at one time and then the patient is coming back. But with the new technology we have, where you can do at the same appointment a milling and get this thing done, the whole thing changed. So it needs to be streamlined. It needs to be organized. It needs just to work fast. This is what patients are expecting.
The entire thing changes, and the patient experience changes. You know, you've got a mouth guard, you've got a night guard, you've got a tooth, something breaks, and you can go to your dental practice and get it same day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just phenomenal. And you know,
the funny thing is for pretty much all the dental offices we worked on planning, we fight it really to get the lab as big as possible. And I can tell you, they open the lab, they open their office, and within a few months, we already talk about, oh, it should have been bigger, right?
Yeah.
So this is really what happens.
Because it's producing for you. And that's the important thing. And when you build a big waiting room and you don't have a lab that can produce for you, that doesn't make any sense. And that's where design and technology come into place. I mean, it's so many.
And I think it's the same for the stereo, where we say one size does not fit all. And it's the same for your lab. It has to work with the dentistry that you do, with the treatment that you do, and not just, hey, I need a lab, let's make it as big as possible. And it all comes down to having a plan in place where you put the equipment that you're using. And I think something that happened in the past is that you have a space, a small lab, and all you do is put cabinetry in there so that you have countertop, but there's no plan in place where you put your equipment and which space is dedicated for what particular work. And we think that workflow in your lab is crucial.
Absolutely. And there's no plan in place on how you're going to get that information over to the lab. Like, for example, when we work together, doctor takes a picture on his SLR camera. It's in full raw image. It goes up on the monitor so they can talk to the patient, but it drops in the lab. The ceramist already has it. And then when you're in-house and you walk with your patient and say, let me show you what makes us different, and you get to the ceramist, the patient's blown away that their image is already there. How did that happen? You took a picture and it's already in the lab. He's already working on it. And you create this beautiful workflow, it's like listening to an orchestra. It's like this beautiful music, and it's your practice in harmony, just flowing, and everything's coming together. I mean, it's
I like that.
Phenomenal. Thank you. Because I mean, I just see it. And it's so funny. Like, someone told me, you know, labs are boring to talk about. They smell, they don't look right. It's just, and I said, listen, they're boring to talk about if you're talking about cookie cutter labs of the 80s and 90s. Okay.
Yeah.
It's 2020. I mean, this is not boring stuff. This is exciting stuff. The idea that you can leave your practice, turn off all the lights, and that your lab will produce for you while you're sleeping.
And
it's a game changer. It's a game. Sorry, one more comment. It's just a game changer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we see here in this picture, we have the milling machines in the lab. So remember when we talked one of the last shows, we talked about, oh, let's put the technology just outside in the waiting area that we can showcase the technology. What? If you have to showcase the technology, your office does not look like technology. So your office is just maybe not designed the right way. Right. That's why it needs to be in the lab, because from the workflow, it cannot be in the waiting area.
Absolutely.
And these are just these small things where the world is changing faster than many people maybe realize.
Absolutely. And that's again, that's the technology is driving the design is complementing the technology, and then you get this orchestra, like, you know, like an orchestra, like music. It's
hand in hand.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing in your practice when the left hand speaks to the right hand and they're working together. It's just a beautiful, It's a beautiful thing.
I think that is what it's important to really see the full picture. So we're not just looking at this one piece of equipment that we want to showcase. We don't just look at one feature wall that we want to showcase. No, it's our entire office from A to Z, from when the patient walks into your door to the treatment, to when they go to the bathroom, to when they leave. It's that entire picture that we want to look at, that we want to showcase, and that we want to work and be efficient, and not just one area where we think that has to be big and important.
Absolutely. It's literally a system, and the whole practice is a system that comes together to produce beautiful dentistry, beautiful music. I mean, it's literally a system, and that is what is so exciting. And I know some people that will see an image and they will just try to replicate that image, right? Ooh. And it's not just what the iPhone looks like, because there's all the smartphones look like this now. Yeah. But it's what the iPhone can do. You know, it's what it can do. And it's
so many people try to copy stuff from us.
Yeah.
That's good and bad. It's good to see that people understand it is good. It's
a compliment.
It's a compliment, exactly. Thank you. Like when you have a fake Louis Vuitton bag or something, fantastic. But on the other side, people really value what it is. They know only the real one is the right one, and only the real one works the right one and gives you the benefit that you pay for.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful when it all comes together. And again, production, being able to produce, give your patients better care, a better result, more efficiencies, and keeping that money in-house, keeping those dollars in-house. That is how you're going to change in 2020. How are you going to make up for all this lost time? If you've got a lab, you can hit run on the printer more often, and you can produce. And that's the difference.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Keep the production in your office, get the ROI, and speed up in 2020.
That's it. Well, guys.
Sounds good.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's
Julia, today we have been good, right? PG-13.
Yeah, all good.
I was ready with the buzzard. I was gonna go. It's all good. Well, guys, that was really, really exciting. I mean, people don't realize, how exciting a dental lab can be, especially when it's producing for you. So, if I'm a business owner,
one last statement. There is a lot more to it. So it's not just looking at these pictures here and saying, oh, I can do it. I can put the same system in place. It's like when you see one of our sterilizations, they look like, okay, just a few cabinets in a layout that where I put my sterilizer and washer in there. There's a lot to it. As we said, everything is going hand in hand. The whole design, from the workflow, the technology, the cabinetry, the treatment chairs, everything.
Absolutely. Let's cue up some orchestra music. Can we get a little orchestra music?
Sure.
Because it sounds so simple, but it's all these pieces coming together. So, guys, thank you so much. What a great call today. What a great, Sunday brunch. I really, really appreciate your time. And we'll see you guys next week.
Made my day. All right. Have a great Sunday.